Hello, friends. Welcome back to Panel Chewing. We have been away, but we are back. This is my fault because I was sick for a bit and I was being a pain in the ass to work with because I was busy with other stuff like work and other things. So, our apologies, but we are back for issue 100. We have a big long list of books to get to, so we will be a little bit behind schedule because we've been gone for a couple weeks. So Jared is here with me again as usual. And Jared, how's it going?
I just want to say congratulations on doing 100 episodes of this particular panel chewing. I haven't been here the whole time. I don't know, started around 70 or so, and it's been a blast. And you've done 100 episodes. That's incredible. It's a great feat.
That's wild. Yeah. So what are you kind of looking back? I thought it might be fun to look back. I know you've been here for about 30 plus episodes, I would guess.
Somewhere around there,
yeah. So what are your thoughts on what are your takeaways from your time doing the pick of the week?
The main thing that because it really re-energized my focus on comics a lot. Because before I was just getting comics occasionally and just kind of chucking them away, putting them in the basement, putting them in the long box. And I had a tendency to sometimes miss a lot of things. And so, every once in a while I would catch up with a trade paperback or whatever. But I would miss. I thought I now know that I missed a lot, and it's been really fun keeping up again, like I used to back in the old days when I worked at a shop, and I knew what was coming out every week, and I was on top of the current happenings in the industry and stuff like that. And I'm not knowledgeable about the industry nowadays, but at least I know what I like. And I know what's coming out, and I now am more aware to try new things. So it's been a lot of fun, and appreciate it.
No, I'm glad you were able to join, and of course, would be remiss to not mention our friend Mike, who I think he joined around episode 10 or so.
Wow.
And so we miss Mike. He's on hiatus because he's dealing with other more important real life stuff. But we're counting the days down till he returns, and we can join forces again and talk comics and talk fun stuff.
Cheers to Mike.
Cheers to Mike.
Oh shit,
Mike, we miss you if you're listening. I had to. So anyway, so we have a big long list of books to get to. So we'll go ahead and get to it. Again, we are a little bit behind, so we'll be talking about books that are a couple of weeks old. And so just bear with us as we get through the list. The first one on the list for me is Buried Long, Long Ago. Number 4, it's by Mad Cave Studios. And this book continues to get darker and darker. It gets creepier. The horror elements are really ramping up. And they're expanding on the lore and building the characters, the supporting characters. There's lots of horror stories and especially comics that start to lose their steam around this point in the story. Usually they come out of the gate pretty strong and then they kind of putter out. But it's the opposite for this series. It's really ramping up and it's really kind of hitting its stride. And I'm really enjoying it. There's some really creepy things, some really creepy kids.
These fucking kids.
And really just the story is kind of off the wall. And I'm not sure where it's going, but they're taking some chances. They're doing things I did not expect them to do. And good book. If you're a horror fan not reading Buried Long, Long Ago, I'd recommend giving it a shot.
Very cool. All right. And so for this anniversary episode, 100th episode, I figured I'd pick up an anniversary comic.
Oh, nice.
Detective Comics number 1100. And this was of course, Detective Comics, of course, stars Batman. And this was an anthology of short stories about Batman. And it was actually pretty neat. What was what was cool about it was all the stories. They kind of focused on the uh, the difference that Batman makes in Gotham. Because a lot of the times you get jaded views of what Batman does. You know, if he wasn't there, would all these crazies come out and try to kill him and stuff like that, and cause havoc in the city? But the stories in here gave a lot of alternate views on what other effects on society that Batman has, other than just beating down bad guys and chasing vigilantes, and it really showed some of the hope that Batman brings, and some of the some of the good side effects that can come of what Batman does for his cities. And I thought that was a different take and an interesting take that you don't see that often.
Did it also give some negatives with Batman? With Batman
Uh,
being around?
no, this one kind of focused on the positive.
Hmm.
This particular issue, because we get a lot of negative with
Yeah.
with the Batman stuff a lot of the times, and I think that's been seen a lot with some of the movies
Hmm.
um, and some of the darker storylines that have run through Batman and Detective Comics over the years. And I think this was just a celebration of Batman and who he is, and it was pretty well done. I mean, it's not, you know, you're gonna like some more than others, yeah, story wise, but it was enjoyable, and it's kind of a one shot, so you don't have to be involved in any deep storylines or anything like that if you want to pick it up and check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I always want to get into. I always want to get into Detective Comics, but I always manage to remember when they're in the middle of a long run, but it's never fails. So maybe a good
Yeah.
time to pick that one up. The next one for me is Catacomb of Torment issue 2. This is by EC Comics. Sadly, this one was a miss for me. The stories ranged from fine to disappointing. None of them were very memorable. Not, the for me the best horror stories are ones that stick with you, that make you think, that kind of stick in your brain and impact you in some way, whether it's emotional or some kind of reaction. But none of the stories really did that for me in this anthology. The good thing about anthologies is that if an issue doesn't work for you or a story doesn't work for you, there's other ones to read. But when there's too many anthologies, there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot of them. Sometimes they can wear a little bit thin. So, but yeah, sadly, this one was a no go for me.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go to one that seems to be missing from the list. I have Escape #1 from Image Comics here. This is the new Rick Remender comic, and so of course I picked it up because it's Rick Remender, and you know how much we enjoy Sacrifices.
Oh yeah.
And so I always give his comics a chance. Um, and this is about a like a World War II or World War One type of situation with the fighter pilots on a plane, and they have the whole the whole fighter pilot dialogue and stuff like that with the whole World War One feel, and the kind of like Snoopy and the Red Baron type thing, and and the main characters are dogs, and I was trying to wrap my head around it, and it's played in a serious manner. It's not like a fun comic, and I just couldn't jive with it. I tried I tried to get into it, and I was hoping it's going to be something cool, and I guess there was some exciting action in there, but I just had a hard time really getting into it. I don't know. I don't know if this one's going to be for me.
Yeah, that one was wrong one. That one was what I was looking for when I heard that there's animals as the characters. And if I don't know, that may not be for me. I think the exception for that is under the Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees was the one that really I got into because all of them they're all anamorphic. But yeah, this one just when it comes to war and to serious topics, I think having that having them not be people, I think takes from the tension and from the kind of the impact of war and those kind of things. So maybe there's a stylistic choice to have the people be dogs, but maybe there's a reason for it.
Yeah, maybe there is. And the artwork was great. Daniel Acuna is a good artist. But I just, like I said, I couldn't. It didn't hit me. It didn't
Hmm.
speak to me. And I don't know if that's because of the anthropomorphization, or if the story itself just didn't really jive with me either. But the depiction of the bad guy German soldiers was, I don't know. It just did not jive with me at all.
Hmm.
Oh well.
Too bad. Well, you have the next ones. Sorry, that was my mistake to leave Escape off the
That's all right.
list. But
Just real quick, I'll do The Killer,
Mhm.
Affairs of the State 2, number 3, third issue, and that's the second Affairs of the State storyline. And if you enjoy The Killer, you're going to enjoy this book. That's just flat out. um, this is the assassin who philosophizes with himself as he goes through life, and yeah, this is storyline just pretty much continues on from the first two issues in this series, and it does exactly what you want out of the Killer comic book, and it does it very well, and I'm looking forward to the next issue, number 4, and
Hmm.
the story is definitely progressing the way you would expect the Killer stories lines to progress. Um, and he is doing something a little bit new with this Affairs of the State storyline than from the previous volumes. So it's good enough to stay on board and keep me entertained.
Nice. I think there's something to be said about a story that stays true to itself and doesn't try to do too much or take too many chances and
Yeah,
change things up too much.
there's definitely a comfort zone here with reading
Mm.
this book. Yeah.
Really love The Killer. I need to pick that series out. Next one for me is Event Horizon Dark Descent. This is by IDW. So, I was one of the people who watched Event Horizon in the theaters back in '97. I think I saw it 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
And so I was excited to see the prequel. This is a prequel to Event Horizon, the film. And well, I would like for the prequel to just be a movie. It's not always, with all the nostalgia going on now, I think they could probably make it happen. But anyway, the some I in reading this book and learning about the lead up to the movie, I wondered because we do get some answers on what it is about the ship and kind of the forces leading into the story and lead kind of putting putting things into motion to end up being what Event Horizon was. I started to wonder, is it better to not know sometimes? And is it better to just wonder? Is it better to have answers, or is it better to let your imagination run wild and just wonder what it could be? So I think it does stay true to the kind of the style and tone to the movie, but sometimes getting too many details kills the feeling you have when you think back on films like this, because it's sometimes not knowing is scarier than knowing, and knowing what happens to the original crew of the Event Horizon, knowing where they go and what happens to them or what they do to each other, even though the movie refers to it as hell, sometimes I think this gets a little bit too specific, and I'm not sure that it really benefits the movie sometimes in some ways. No, I did enjoy it. I think it was fine. I do like getting the backstory and the lead up to the movie, but I'm still curious to see where it goes. But I just wonder, was this necessary? But maybe, and I'm not sure that it was or wasn't yet, because I do hope it works out. But I hope it hope it nails the landing for wherever it is that it's going.
All right. Up next, I have Cruel Universe, Volume 2, Number 1. And this is another one of those anthologies that you were just speaking about earlier. And this is like a sci-fi anthology. And this had a couple news stories, and it also had a few news stories, and it also had a reprint from back in 1963. And sad to say, the reprint was the only decent story in here.
Oh wow!
The rest of them were just, I don't know, they were silly. They had the goofy endings, and they just didn't. I don't know. They didn't cut the mustard for me. I enjoyed the old story. It was had Bernie Kriegstein artwork, and he was a classic artist from back then on the EC Comics, before the Comics Code cut them off, basically. But and this was it was, that was pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's still goofy early '60s sci-fi, but in a good way. And this is it was the best story in here. The rest of them, I could just leave them and not worry about it. Yeah. So I don't think I'll be continuing on with this particular anthology.
Bummer. Yeah, that's too bad. The anthologies are. I wonder if there's. Yeah, they're tough. Tough to do. Next book for me is Exquisite Corpses, number 4. This is by Image Comics. So in this issue, we're back to focusing on battles and combat on the ground from the people that are, engaging in combat, and it's less focused on the politics and the story behind what's happening behind the scenes. So it was a kind of an action-packed issue, and this may not be doing something completely original, but it's creative enough that it's keeping my attention. I'm still hanging on for this one, but I need something else to. It feels like there's missing. These need to start. Something else needs to start happening. It feels like it's kind of, we're doing the same thing every issue. So I kind of hope we expand a little bit and do some different things with the story, because it was a little too familiar. But I'll hold on for now on Exquisite Corpses.
All right. Next up for me is Absolute Superman, number 10. And I can't even believe I'm saying I'm reading a Superman comic 10 issues in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And I know that you had an issue with this issue last time you talked about it, but not a big one. Overall, the storyline just keeps propelling forward.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Aaron's handling this character. I love how he's handling the Superman character. I love how he's handling the bad guy. I don't know if it's giving anything away to say his name, but
he's on the cover.
Yeah, he's on the cover. That's true. I love how he's handling that, and it's just fun. I really enjoy having a monthly Superman book that I'm looking forward to, and that doesn't bore me or doesn't and keeps me guessing as well as to where it's going to go. There's no set outcome here for this book. There's no obvious resolution that's going to happen. and I enjoy that a lot. It's something I think a lot of comics need, superhero specifically, comics need nowadays. And this one is it, and does not like we don't read many superhero comics on this on this podcast,
No.
and this when we get up to number 10 on a series, that tells you something about that series. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
fun read.
It's by far my favorite Absolute book. I think safe to
Yeah.
say by far my favorite. Yeah, I think I'm surprised I'm still reading it too. But I think it's doing some really good things, and it's taking its time. It's taking its time, but it's still moving forward. If that makes
Exactly.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no sudden rush slugfest that just ends a run. It's developing. It's taking its time in development, yet progressing at a really good pace,
Yeah. It's a good way to say it.
story wise. Yeah.
So the next one for me is Ice Cream Man number 44 by Image Comics. This was the performance review. And as the title suggests, this is a performance review. And the employee receiving his review may or may not have lost his mind. It's kind of, this issue reminded me of a much darker version of something like Office Space, but it's on steroids and it's very, very dark. It's a twisted reflection of everyday life, and this issue didn't have kind of tie things together the way that I was hoping it would in some ways, but it did tie things together. It it didn't expect it to go the way it did. It's the way that it tied things together is a display of the absurdity of kind of a corporate work life, and the way that you can feel like just another number, feel disposable. You feel not only corporate work, just work in general, or just being a human being. So I do see that there is like a twisted mirror of reality for a lot of people, and how it can just drive you insane. So it was fun. It was fine. I didn't. I usually love Ice Cream Man. This one I liked it, but it didn't blow my socks off. It's not one that I'll remember. There's so many issues of Ice Cream Man that stick with me that are just fantastic, and this one just wasn't quite to that level. Although I do see what they were trying to do, which, kudos for that.
Cool. Next up, I have Cul-de-sac number 1, from Bad Idea Comics, written by Mike Carey, with artwork by Jonathan Wayshak. And this is my second comic from Bad Idea that I've read, and this one was much better than the first comic I read. The Mike Carey actually was a favorite writer of mine. He did the Lucifer comic from DC Vertigo that he took over from Neil Gaiman way back when, and I really love his run on Lucifer. I thought it was fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorite comics, and so anything that he writes, I tend to pick up to check it out. And this one is interesting because it's because of the art style. Jonathan Wayshak has this really strange style. It kind of reminds me of Scotty Young, but a much darker tone and line work than what Scotty Young does. And so it's a little cartoonish, but the story itself is not light or young or cartoony in any manner. It's very it's a vampire story. That's that's not giving anything away because it's the front cover kind of gives it away. But and it's interesting. It's interesting. It has my interest. It's the artwork is unique enough and strange enough to really make you appreciate it for what it is, and I think it could work for this story pretty well. And I think I want to see where it goes, and see what Carey does with these characters.
Hmm.
So, and see what kind of unique take he has on the whole vampire mythos. I'm hoping it's going to be something as unique as Snyder did with American Vampire. We'll see,
Oh wow.
or even hopefully even better than that. We'll see. But you know, so far so good. You know, I have a little bit of reservation about the some of the characters and the artwork and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm hoping it's gonna grow into something even better than now.
Hmm. I missed that one. So that's, the next one for me is Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum #1. So in this issue, this isn't really a spoiler, but they're introducing different colors of kryptonite and exploring what they'll do, or the impact they have on Superman. Batman is there to kind of test different colors and the impact on Superman. I thought some of that was creative, the way that it affects Superman. I wondered why there's such a heavy Batman presence there. And it reminded me of what Johns did with Green Lantern back in the Parallax, Blackest Night, with the different colors of rings and all the different, kind of exploring that side of the lore. Unfortunately, I didn't really find it very interesting or captivating. It seemed a little inconsistent. It's the creative team from Ice Cream Man, which I was excited about, but it just may be that it just didn't. I think if I enjoyed Superman in general more, I might have enjoyed it more. But I think having Batman with such a heavy presence was maybe not the best choice. It took away from the Superman part. So I do think they're getting they're exploring some emotional angles from Superman with this that I thought was a fun and interesting exploration. But the rest of it, I just didn't really just didn't care. So unfortunately, this one was a miss for me.
Sylvie. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, I have Blink and You'll Miss It, #1 from Boom Studios. And this is written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan and illustrated by Keith Browning. And this is, it's kind of about a woman who returns to her hometown after being away for many years. She was missing. There was actually missing posters and everything of her. And she's kind of getting reintegrated into this place. So I was hoping it would kind of have that minor arcana feel, where you really get into who this person is and some in like the place and get a good sense of place and stuff like that. But they didn't really pull it off that well, unfortunately. And this one was kind of veering more into horror instead of the magic that we got in Minor Arcana, which I really enjoyed. I still do enjoy. It's still going on, but this one, I don't know. The reveal at the end kind of fell flat for me, and it seemed too much too soon, and the character seemed just accepting of the situation too easily and too much too soon, and so it didn't really land for me. This one, I wanted it to because the artwork was pretty cool. It's pretty nice, but it was just I don't know. I was hoping for something more out of this, especially given the cover with these weird multiple pictures of the same person. It's a pretty cool cover, but I was hoping for, I don't know, a little more mystery than what we got, and wasn't there.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
The trombone button's getting worn out today. So. The next one for me is World Tree #16. It's by Image Comics. As I think this is one of the first. It's fitting we talk about this issue on the 100th issue. This is one of the first books I picked up for the podcast when I went back to the comic book store and went to look for books to talk about. I have a connection with this one. We go way back. So, and as listeners know, I have a very up and down relationship with this book. This issue was mostly up with some new developments, and the story is moving along. There's some major things happening. I'm still hanging on. I still have trouble keeping track of the characters and who exactly is where and their role and everything. And so sometimes it's hard to keep up with. And I think part of that is the release schedule, because sometimes it does take a couple of months for the next issue. So it's hard to refresh. I think once we get a little bit deeper, maybe I'll do a complete reread of the story. There's only been 16 issues and it's been going for 2 years almost. So, it is what it is. I'm not trying to complain. I'd rather it be late and still get it than not get it at all. So I'm not complaining, but it is hard to keep up sometimes. So
Cool. Next up, I have, oddly enough, another DC Universe entry. The New Gods, number 9. And once again, I can't believe I'm saying number 9 on a DC superhero book. But this book continues to impress me with its storyline. And I really enjoy where it's going. I really like the fact that most of your DC heroes are staying on the periphery and not, you're not featured as a guest of the week. Like there's a Green Lantern in this particular episode, and he's not even on the cover. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that the New Gods are members of the DC universe, but the focus is on them and on their story, and we're getting a little bit more into some of the background of some of the bad things that are happening to the New Gods in this issue, and I like how they do that. They do switch up artists a lot on this run, and the art in this issue, I think, is what decided me against it being the pick of the week, because I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was okay. It was pretty cool. It's pretty good in most cases, but not up to the standard that the main artist on the series set.
yeah, high bar though.
Yeah, high bar. Yeah, exactly. But overall, it's still a solid, good issue, and it really moves the story forward again and keeps it interesting, and looking forward to more once again from a DC comic.
Wow. So the next one for me is Wild Animals number 2. It's by Image Comics. This is just a quick recap. This is a story about a youngish adult. I believe he's early 20s, late teens. He lives with his mother. His father was murdered by cops that he worked with. And so Neil, who's the son, he kind of loses it. He's had enough, and he tries to go back to the hometown to try and get revenge for the cops who killed his dad many years ago. And he was also injured during these events. And this one, so he's kind of an outcast. He goes back to take on these ex-cops who are obviously can be pretty formidable, even though they're older now. And he goes back to get revenge, and it goes about as well as you think it would for him. And no, I do appreciate the fact that he doesn't turn into Jason Bourne and, starts, he knows Kung Fu all of a sudden. But the story just seems very familiar. I'm not a huge fan of the art. I can't really, I really tried to get into this one. I just can't. It just doesn't pull me in. It feels like just a rerun of other things I've seen. And yeah, unfortunately, I'll have to throw in the towel.
All right. Something, maybe something to cheer about here. Imperial #3 from Marvel Comics. This is Jonathan Hickman's new series of cosmic heroes, and I color me impressed. I'm actually really enjoying this comic, even though I still don't 100% know everything about all the players. I don't think I'm ever going to, but it's starting to become clearer to me that I don't really need to know everybody in order to enjoy the story for what it is. And and the artwork's really good, and I really like it. The only thing that held this issue back, once again, from being my pick of the week, was Hickman's tendency to have two characters philosophizing back and forth for quite a number of pages, which it's cool, it's fun. I don't mind Hickman's philosophizing, but it doesn't make for, it's kind of exposition heavy when he does that, and so there's not much action going on when that happens. But that said, the result of this conversation, this back and forth, did result in something very fun at the end of the issue, which was pretty cool. So I got a kick out of that, and it was a good issue. I'm looking forward to the end of the series. I hope he sticks to landing, as they say, and I think it's a 4-issue series. I'm not sure.
4 issues.
But I'll have to double check that. Maybe it's 6. But either way, an enjoyable space opera type superhero story with lots of seeming impact on the Marvel Universe as a whole.
I wondered if Imperial is Marvel's answer for New Gods.
Oh, that's actually a good question, because especially with how this issue ended, you may be onto something there.
Yeah, it seems a little familiar. It seems a little similar. I mean,
I don't know if New Gods is, I don't know what the standing of it is. Is it doing well sales wise? Is it?
I'm not sure. I would imagine so. They would have canceled it, I think, by now if it wasn't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it must be doing good enough. I mean, I think Hickman and Marvel and Imperial have probably make a bigger splash as far as star power goes. But yeah. I hope New Gods is doing well, though. That's interesting.
Yeah. No, I believe Ram V is writing New Gods. So.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so the next one for me, before we get to the pick of the week, is Invincible Universe Battle Beast #4 by Image Comics. So Battle Beast arrives at Prince Salaka's homeworld. I probably mispronounced the prince's name. And they discover very quickly that this is not the world the prince remembers. It's changed a lot. It's a lot more dangerous, and they find some opponents, some somewhat worthy opponents. Battle Beast does. Battle Beast continues to search for someone who will potentially kill him in battle, someone who's worthy, and he just has this desire to be killed in battle, and it's just fun. The book is fun. It's great artwork. It's clever. I mean, it's just fun. And while this issue wasn't full of a ton of action or information, it was just, it's moving the story along, and it's bringing us to another place for him to find an opponent, and he does find someone who may be worthy of battle. So yeah, it's a bloody fun. This book, I've been saying that since issue 1. It's just a good time. So good stuff. If you're not reading it, definitely recommend it. And with that, we get into our picks of the week.
All right. those of you who know me, this will come as no surprise. Um, my pick of the week is Conan the Barbarian, number 23 from Titan Comics, and like I said, it was a tough choice this week. But the minor flaws I picked out in the other choices, this one just overcame them. It had solid story, very solid artwork, and this issue is number 3 in a 3-part in a series so far. It's the third installment in this current run, Nest of Servants, and so it continues on the story well. The artwork is outstanding. It really, it's really just detailed, dark, gloomy, everything you want from a Conan comic. Um, and the story has sorceress. Conan's going up against him in various ways. There's all kinds of machinations of different villains, and he's tied up all in it, and he gets surprising allies and all the stuff you want from a Conan comic, and it's just done very well. And I'm so happy with Titan's run on this on the Conan property. I think it's much better than the Marvel run before it, and because Marvel got the license back from Dark Horse a little while ago, and they just kind of let it peter. It kind of didn't do much with it at all. Titan, when they got the license, they really took good care of it and took off with it, and it's showing in the monthly book that it keeps coming out with.
Yeah, I think when they have certain franchises or certain IPs, I wonder if they're worried more about quantity over quality. I'm speaking about things like the Alien universes, of course, now Disney, and they just seem to they just pump books out, and from what I've read, they just haven't been very good.
Yeah, maybe they had Marvel join Marvel. They had Conan joining the Marvel universe proper, and I was just like,
No,
oh boy, this is not the way to treat this property.
no, not at all.
And I think whoever owns, I don't know if it's the Howard Estate or whatever that owns the property for Conan comics, but I think they saw that.
I hope so. Yeah,
And we're like, okay, somebody else.
yeah. Well, thankfully, it's being taken care of now.
Yes.
Yeah. So my pick of the week this week, it was a hard choice. There was a few that were in the running, but I decided to pick Hyde Street number 8 by Image Comics. In this issue, Pranky turns to Mr. X for help, and we're introduced to a few new characters that reside on Hyde Street. We continue to evolve and to broaden the scope of the world. We continue to have new characters brought in. Older characters come back. Mix them all together. The story's moving along. There's excellent artwork. It's funny. It's creepy. It's just a solid book from start to finish. I think every issue has been solid. I can't remember one that wasn't. And I'm excited to see where they take it, where the storyline goes with Pranky. It's kind of a coup going on right now against Pranky, and the new characters I really love, the characters that they're introducing and kind of bringing to the forefront some terrifying characters coming up. So yeah, it's just a good book, month in, month out. It's moving along. It's never boring. It's just good all the time. So it was my pick for this week.
Yeah.
Yes. So for those of you hanging on still, we are going to be discussing X-Men issues 126 and 127. So if you are reading along with us, we are reading the Chris Claremont run of X-Men. It is available on Hoopla or Libby. So if you're new here, you can jump on either of those services. They are free as long as you have a library card. you can check the books out, read them for free, and then come and discuss them with us. Every week we do 2 issues a week, and we are getting closer and closer, inching closer to the Dark Phoenix saga, which is very exciting.
Indeed. Yeah, we start to see some more hints of that in these 2 issues. These 2 issues are a couple of the funnest ones we've had in a little while here. I really had a good time reading these ones. I love how we're back to the great John Byrne on the artwork, and we got Jean. I love how Jean's getting confused. She confuses Scott for Jason Wingard during a rescue, and this and we're getting a little bit into the whole Mutant X thing, and Moira's son, and for some reason this Mutant X isn't able to attack Wingard. I don't know why that is right now. I don't remember if that was explained here or if we're going to get that in the future here. And of course he's thwarted by metal, and so of course he's thwarted by our friend Wolverine, right?
Yeah, who better, right?
So and there was a mention of Mutant X being able to beat the Fantastic Four in just a little blurb in the issue, and I was like, oh, when did that happen? But you get the little editor's note that tells you it happens way back in whatever. Yeah. But I think that's great. Just absolutely fun.
Yeah, the Mutant X, I forgot. I had forgotten about this, about Mutant X. But I do like the dilemma, the moral dilemma that they're faced with her being, with him being Moria's son.
Yeah,
we discover that's her son, and so they're conflicted on what to do about him, because it could potentially hurt her by stopping him if it goes too far. So this is what's great about the X-Men, is when they go into these types of storylines and they raise these questions. And I especially like in issue, I think it was 127, more so than 126, but just the role that Cyclops plays in those conversations and his perspective. I think you need that yin and yang, or someone to give a different opinion on things like this, to make the reader think about it too.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like she even had like a gun. She was going to take him out, her own son.
Yeah.
And it didn't end up happening, but it's he's quite the danger to the people around him. And so what do you do? What do you do in those situations? Yeah. And you're right about the next issue. It really showed how Scott Summers really gets in the X-Men's head and tries to straighten them out. And it was a little bit. It showed us another side of, because like when the run first started, we were always pointing out how much of a jerk Scott was and stuff like that, But I think this we're starting to see now that what he brings to the table as a leader is important,
right,
to this group, and I like how that was shown.
Yeah, he challenges them, and the role he plays is important. And I think also another thing that Marvel does, I don't say better than DC, but I think it's something we've talked about before, is the family dynamics and the family drama that we get with Mutant X and his mom and his dad.
Yeah, and what a cliffhanger. Very exciting issue all around. Number 127. It was nonstop action with a lot of good interaction as well. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started looking into when we talked about doing the Chris Claremont run of X-Men, I believe it was these issues that I pointed to as a good place to start. I know we started at 100, but I can see now why this would be a good jumping on point for readers jumping into the. But I am glad we started earlier, just to have more of a background. but I can't see why this would be good for some people to jump in. And
Sure. Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But we have a lot of context coming in, so it's great.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I wondered if too much of these kind of questions were being raised in other books at this time, or if this is unusual, kind of what to do about him, how to stop him, and the consequences, or how far do we go to stop him?
Yeah, it's interesting. I know there was quite a few, um, especially on DC side. There was quite a few, like public service type issues that spotlighted problems. Like there was some Batman issues that spotlighted gun use and violence and stuff. And
Hmm.
you had and there was some other. I think there was a Green Lantern issue that spotlighted some sort of societal problem. I forget, but I think those were like purposely done to do that.
Mhm.
Whereas these are just part of the story. It's
Right.
natural progression part of the story. They're not like trying to make a statement. Claremont's not trying to make a social statement or anything like that. He's just telling a cool story and he's making it. These characters feel like there's investment in them, and it's and once again, John Byrne's art is out of this
Oh,
world.
it's so good. It's so good. It's, I mean, I found myself just staring at the page
Yeah,
and just looking at the artwork, and the line work is fantastic. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful art.
yeah. These are the type of comic book pages that people would specifically look for to buy prints of, like of the black and white or whatever. Just you can frame these things. They're so nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, the cliffhanger too. Going into the next couple issues.
Yeah, tune in next week.
Yes, for sure. We're getting closer to the really good stuff. I'm excited to reread the Dark Phoenix saga. It's a legendary run.
Yep.
So if you are reading with us, we will be discussing issues 128 and 129 next week. If you aren't reading with us, why not? It's free. Get on that if you have a library card. If you don't have a library card, it's also free. So, and not to mention, get on Libby and Hoopla or Hoopla, because there are a ton of free things to check out. And there's movies, there's music, there's books, there's comics, there's manga, there's all sorts of things. It's amazing how much you can do for free. So if you want to save yourself a few bucks or many dollars, go check it out. It's well worth your time.
Many dollars.
Many dollars. Yeah. I think that's issue 100. Wow. 100 issues.
Wow.
Wild.
Outstanding.
These buttons are bad news for me, let me tell you. But yeah, so thanks everyone for listening. In the meantime, Jared, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Fantasy Thinker YouTube channel, and you can find me on the Oscar Project on Film Joing and Speculation podcast as well.
Yeah, check us out on Patreon. Join the forums. Check out the articles, the blog reviews, the discussions, all the different content being posted there. And come and say hello to us. There's also a link in the description to send us a message directly, or you can come to the forums and say hello there. That is, we'd love to have you. So yeah, issue 100 is a wrap.
Nice.
On to the next milestone. So thanks everyone for listening, and we hope you find your pick of the week.
Bye-bye.